Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Yo, host, welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2. And hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So we'll talk about the Jason Kelce, the former NFL center for the Philadelphia Eagles. He should stay in his lane. Stay in your lane, bro. Stay in your lane and not talk about other sports, because really, and just talk about frivolous stuff. Talk about the NFL and frivolous stuff. I have a question. I know that they have a very popular show, him and his brother, but I don't find them that interesting. Quite frankly, I really don't. I don't think any of these athletes are all that interesting. Even the Mannings aren't that interesting, to be honest with you. But Jason Kelce is a very popular show. They get big people on it. They get the biggest, singer on in the world, I guess. Taylor Swift. A few months ago, with her fiance, Travis Kelce. I guess he's not going to be doing any songs about breaking up with him, I guess, at the moment. But anyway, seems like Jason said something really kind of silly. Doesn't understand how, when you spend a lot of money means that, you have the ability to have something good. So why do you go and, how much money do you spend on a Rolex watch? You don't get a knockoff. You don't get like a crappy Armatron watch. If you have a lot of money, you get the best. You get Rolex, right? Basic concept of economics and wanting things. If you have a lot of money, you buy stuff. He should understand this. Guy that made millions of dollars in the NFL. Apparently not for Jason. This is from Outkick. Jason Kelce makes ridiculous comments to Travis Kelce, the NFL, MLB. Now, they usually say ridiculous things anyway, I guess, in their show. Kelce says, Dodgers Blue Jays World Series proves team that spent most money always wins. Oh, really? Well, when you spend a lot of money, that means you're getting the best players. So only the best players are going to take the most money. Has Jason Kelce ever watched the NFL? On a recent episode of the New Heights podcast with Travis Kelce, Jason talked about the 2025 World Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and Toronto Blue Jays. And in doing so, he revealed a spectacular lack of awareness about baseball. Perhaps even more importantly, he also demonstrated how little he's paid attention to the NFL over the past 15 years. Jason started by expressing skepticism that baseball deserved their stamp of approval, to which Travis responded with a shot at Jason's Phillies. Listen, just because the Phillies didn't make it doesn't mean the World Series wasn't absolutely epic, he said. That was an awesome 7-game series of effing baseball, man. It was back and forth. Both teams had their shining moments. Blue Jays are up all game going into the 8th inning. To which Jason shot back. So you're telling me I'm supposed to get excited about a Canadian baseball team and a team that just spends more money than everybody else? Well, that's not true. The New York Mets spent more, folks. My New York Mets spent more, and it didn't go to the postseason. So that's not a guarantee. To Travis's credit, he pointed out that both teams spent a lot of money on players. That's when Jason lost it. Quote, yeah, that's why baseball sucks. It's the dumbest thing in the world, Jason said. The team that spent the most money and everyone knew would win. Everybody knew this was going to happen before the season. We just had a bunch of meaningless shit happen before, and then it happened. Baseball's not getting my stamp. What the hell's a stamp? Stamp of what? Stamp of stupidity? Again, the New York Mets spent more money than the Dodgers. They didn't make the playoffs. The Yankees spent a lot of money. They didn't get to even have a chance to get to the World Series. Has Jason ever watched the NFL, where we play months of meaningless football before one of 3 or 4 teams wins every year for the past decade and a half, including his brother's team, including his team too, by the way? The Patrick Mahomes Kansas City Chiefs have made the Super Bowl 5 times in the last 6 years. A team quarterbacked by Tom Brady made the Super Bowl 10 times from 2002 to 2021, including 7 from 2008 to 2021. The Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2025. They won the Super Bowl in 2018, which he was a part of. There have been just 8 different organizations even play in the Super Bowl since 2017. Or 25% of the league. Contrast that with Major League Baseball. The sport Kelce thinks is predictable has had 10 different organizations make the World Series in that time frame, or 30% of the league. The team that everyone knew would win because the season even starts almost perfectly describes the modern NFL. Ain't that the truth? Well, the NFL is all rigged, as you know. Kansas City's just 5-4 in the regular season this year. They're also overwhelming favorites to win the Super Bowl at most sports books. Why? Because the regular season doesn't matter. The Chiefs will make the playoffs, and because they have the sport's best player at the most important position, they're significantly more likely to win again. Outside a few isolated teams and a handful of seasons, there's little point in even analyzing the NFL regular season, because Mahomes or insert the best quarterback in the NFL here is what really matters. Saying that MLB is predictable to literally Kelce, to Travis Kelce, demonstrates an astounding amount of ignorance and lack of interest in actually analyzing one of the sport's most predictable outcomes. And again, like I said, just as an aside, the New York Mets spent the most in Major League Baseball. They didn't make the playoffs. They spent the most in 2023. They didn't make the playoffs. So this idea that you spend the most gets you to the postseason, that's not true. Just to the postseason. And 2022, the Mets spent a lot of money, and they got knocked off in the first round. A lot of it has to do with really, this is just the guy that knows what he's talking about, okay? He should stay in his lane, talk about frivolous things, talk about the NFL, and he'll be fine. Anything beyond that, he has no clue. And we've been stuck in this rut for the last 25 years of 4 teams in this thing. The Eagles, the Pats, like, you know, the Chiefs, it's like 4 teams, 3 teams, like, sick of it. Then, you know, once every year you'll get like a patsy going in. I mean, the opponent going in against one of these teams, and they have no shot, you know. The only team that was different was the Buccaneers, and they had Tom Brady on their team. But, you know, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And like I said, I would mention this, and this is just to finish up. I am very concerned about my time on here. I'm not going anywhere. I think I said this on YouTube, but when you like support these athletes, these guys make all kinds of money as players. Well, you continue to support them when they're like, you know, when they're not playing anymore. So I don't get about the media. I mean, the audience here is that sometimes the audience, they fall in love with the name and they keep following them and keep supporting them. And you think you're getting anything interesting? Interesting from the Kelces? Not really. The only time they ever had anything interesting to say is when they brought in Taylor Swift, and she brought in all her Swifties to basically shut the podcast down. You know, I mean, what are they saying that's anything different than what I'm saying? And they already set for life, these people. Well, I mean, all of them. And this goes for football, excuse me, Major League Baseball, and all the other sports. You continue to feed into the industries that hate you. Let me tell you something. The people in Major League Baseball, they hate the fan. They really do. They really do. We've seen it. I've been seeing little bits and pieces of it. And I would mention, they don't care for me, but I don't care. I don't care. I like being on my own, do my own thing. But when you don't support people like myself, you're not supporting the little guy. You keep supporting these horrible corporations that hate this country, you know, hate what you stand for as an independent person. You know, sometimes you got to stop consuming this stuff and just sort of support independent people. I'm the only one that's an independent person on the platform now. I was the first Mets YouTuber, and I continue to be independent of the system. And I like it like that. You know, I see some of the things that I see, you know, just weird stuff that goes on that I would not be part of. I'm not going to say what it is, but I noticed that there's this convention that's coming up in December, and it's in a horrible neighborhood. And why they picked it, I'm going to say where it is, but they picked this convention in a horrible neighborhood. I know the neighborhood well. When I was near there, I wouldn't even go to that convention. I wouldn't bring the Hutmobile there. That's for damn sure. But anyway, that's the kind of stuff you see, is that you, as fans, you take garbage just to be close to the athletes and be close to the managers, and you know, and it's just ridiculous. And but that's my little rant at the end of this video. It has nothing to do. But again, when you support people like this, they made their millions. What does the Kelce say that's so interesting? That you need to keep supporting them and give. I mean, if you want to watch them, it's fine, but then you sort of forget about people like your host trying to get by. Just another guy in the universe trying to get by. It's making my way in the universe. But thank you for watching this video, and of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Head 2. I'll see you later.